Among the pantheon of SUVs in the world, we had decidedly different genres of SUV. The Jeep Wagoneer, Jeep Cherokee from the US, the Mitsubishi Pajero, the Nissan Patrol, and of course, let's not forget the Land Cruiser Amazon from Japan. Then we had got the G-Wagon from Germany. These were decidedly different types of SUV, unlike what we know of as today, because today we got SUV-styled vehicles which are really tarmac scorchers. Amongst the biggest of the SUVs as we know it today from Europe has got to be the range of Q cars from Audi, exemplified by their flagship, the Q7. The Q7 was always the big, butch, burly SUV, and now it has had a big generational change. Say hello to the all-new Q7, which we have come here to Switzerland to check out, drive, touch, feel, and give the gen on. One of the most defining elements of any Audi is got to be the driver environment. And when you talk about driver environment, it's especially the cockpit and the controls and the tactility, plus also whatever you have got in driver aids to help rapid forward progression. The Q7 has it all and more. The new virtual cockpit, the completely revamped climate control system, also the new MMI interface, very intuitive, very easy to use, and by and large very receptive to the touch. The problem is we are in Switzerland where the speed limits are pretty exacting. So you are really driving at antiseptic speeds. But in this sort of a driving environment, it is just this very tactility which I am mentioning. The way so naturally the thumb falls to hand on the steering wheel, on the center spokes, the forward visibility, the full adjustable seats, everything is very well defined, is ultra comfortable, sporty as well. And then you have got to talk about the paddle shift gearbox. The new 8-speed Tiptronic is something to really savor. There is a new central differential to this 8-speed Tiptronic with a far more decidedly rear bias to the torque split. It's now 40-60 front to rear, and what really impresses when you really throttle, put your foot down on the loud pedal, is you get to know that 325 kilos of flab which this car has shed, and it becomes a far more livelier, agile and a very sure-footed car. This is a car which is amongst the biggest of the SUVs in the present sense. Great power to weight ratio. There are both V6 engines in petrol and diesel, both 3 liters, the TFSI as well as the TDI, and of course India being diesel country, you are going to have the TDI over everything else. Two TDIs are on offer, one with 218 horses on call and another with a 272. And I think in India it will be the 272 bhp TDI which will come across. What is important with that engine is it has got 600 Newton meters of torque for the asking to lay it down on any and every terrain. The lower spec 3 liter TDI with 218 horses has got about 500 Newton meters of torque. So there is what's about 100 Newton meters between the two, but having more torque generally helps in the drivability, the pleasure aspect, the thrust, notably when you're accelerating, overtaking slow moving traffic. This is a car which will truly set another benchmark in its category. And lest I forget, one last redeeming feature of this car, which I've always maintained right from the beginning. When you talk of diesel propulsion, amongst the 3 top German car makers, Audi makes the best, smoothest, creamiest diesels ever. And I must mention about the steering gear. She is pretty sharp, very precise, but it's not very overtly quick, rather very progressive, very linear, and the feel is a little bit on the dead side because so many of the new age technological driver aids which have crept into the business have taken away that finesse where you spoke with tarmac to rubber to the way you felt at the pedals and the seat and the steering wheel. So yes, it's smoother but a little bit devoid of feel. In a straight line, she can rocket away to illegal speeds in first gear itself, and I don't want to try that here in Switzerland because the nannies in the atmosphere can catch you out in no time. But let's wait for a full-on road test when this car hits Indian roads. I'm sure this is a car which will be absolutely awesome in India given the way she has been built, configured and power packed with the right amount of goodies to delight the person who can shelf the sort of money which this car would be pegged at. This then is the new Q7. Big, but it's not very bulky because the new lines really disguise and break up that bulbous clutter of the original. It is agile, it's dynamic, it's light, saves the environment somewhat, has got the right mix of engines, a great transmission system, fantastic interior, well crafted as is the Audi norm, and it should be here in India in the last quarter of this year. In Europe, it's priced at about 61,000 euros for the base version when we start off with. What it will hold forth in India is something else, but dynamically from every aspect, this is a car for the better. It takes the Q7 saga onto a different plane altogether. And when you come to think about it, this is the base on which the next generation Cayenne is also going to be built on. You can understand how good this car actually is and what it will mean with a certain Porsche badge on it.